To it. I figured, honestly, the topic for today came from me not listening to my own body. Um, so I figured we would talk about how to actually like listen to the signals that our bodies are sending us. Um, Coach Molly kind of went through it a little bit at the Fitme event, talking about doing like a systems check when you wake up in the morning. Like, how are you feeling? Kind of going through feeling that before you're starting your day. So I figured we'd kind of dive a little bit more into it and kind of what to look out for and how to actually listen to your body and the things that it's telling you. So some of you might have heard us use the term like biofeedback before. And if we're talking about biofeedback, it's really just talking about like the signals our bodies are sending us based off the inputs or what we're telling it to do. So a super simple example would be like if we got a really crappy night's sleep, then the next day our body's like telling us we're tired, you don't wake up with any energy, maybe you're having more cravings the next day because of that like lack of sleep. And a lot of us are go-getters and we're really busy people and we got a lot going on. And sometimes we just don't listen to the signals that our body's telling us. I in particular have not been listening. I have been feeling really exhausted, like to the point where I wake up every single day. And this is one of the things that I pay attention to when I'm like listening to my body is how is my energy when I wake up in the morning? And I felt dead to the world for the past like 2 weeks. And rather than probably taking a step back and just focusing on like steps and really focusing on recovery, Tabby doesn't listen and she just decides to push even harder. And so I woke up today and I'm like, I felt like I got hit by a freight train, like just feeling exhausted, mentally worn down, like no real drive to do anything. Normally, I wake up, you do all the things you normally do. Like I literally just wanted to sit on the couch all day, which is not like a normal thing for me. So definitely something like when you're not listening to some of the signals that your body's telling you, eventually it'll start sending you more signals for you to slow down. So this is normally when, if I wouldn't have started to actually listen this morning, where I probably would have started to get sick. My sleep's been really horrible. My energy. So sleep is something I pay attention to. Did I get a good night's sleep? Normally 7 to 9-ish hours, more about the quality of sleep that you get than necessarily the time. But I woke up, my quality of sleep has been bad, waking up in the middle of the night, really vivid, crazy dreams where I wake up and I'm like, oh my God. So quality of sleep hasn't been there. The other thing that I do in like my systems check is how is my energy when I wake up? And normally, I'm someone who I love to still lay in bed, but I'll get up and get the day going. But for these past 2 weeks, it's like all I want to do is lay in bed, like feeling really, really run down. And then one of the other things that I pay attention to is actually my hunger levels. So normally in times of very little sleep, very little energy, I'll sometimes get very hungry and a lot of cravings. Like I will crave the most random things, like usually sweets because I am a sweets person, but all the cravings will set in. Also my, willpower to say no also goes down. Because normally where it wouldn't be, that's not a treat I'm interested in. Sometimes it just looks good. And Fitme plates weren't necessarily appealing. So kind of, I figured why we would talk about this is that like we're all pretty busy and sometimes we ignore the signals that our bodies are telling us. So this could also show up as like pain, or maybe you're having pain in a body part. I know when I'm super stressed, I carry a lot of stress in my shoulders. And literally the other day, I was having so much upper body pain because I was stressed, planning a move and trying to get everything together and get all that crap together. I'm like, ugh, and stressed out about it, staying up late, like, how am I going to get all this stuff packed and done with this, and this on the schedule? My shoulder started to hurt and I could feel it in the gym. My performance in the gym was not as good. I was getting more fatigued on my walks, walking uphill. I'm like, all right, something is, I'm not feeling the best. So the reason we do kind of like this biofeedback log, or we talk about like some of the signals that we're sending to our body, is so we can course correct and adjust. So one of the things that I did, I'm just using myself as an example so we can see how it's like applied. But one of the things that I wanted to do this week, I wanted to train 3 times this week, but Wednesday I have a doctor's appointment. Friday I'm moving all day. And then Saturday I'll probably be unpacking all my crap. So I'm like, 3 is probably not realistic if I'm being honest with myself. And my coach who does my programming knows that. And he goes, I was waiting for this to happen, for you to say, overcommit. And then, because he knows that I've done this because I've done it before, letting go that training and everything doesn't have to be the same every single week. So he's like, instead of training, can you keep that time slot just dedicated to walking, like getting a nice long walk? So I'm still getting some type of movement in. I'm still getting my steps in. It's just lower impact because all these stressors that are happening in life are just like piling on and piling on. And my body's fighting back against me. So we need something low impact. Because I was definitely starting to feel it in the gym. My body hurt. My lifts weren't as good. I just didn't feel energized. I was feeling completely gassed. Like normally, you're tired after a workout, but to feel so extremely like run down was not something I usually experience. So paying attention to all these little things when it comes to your mood too. I have just been like blah, like not like normal Tabby. Like I'm just like, yeah, all right. I've been blah, paying attention to your mood, paying attention to your sleep, paying attention to your hunger, noticing things like that. I know when I do not sleep, hunger goes up and my cravings go up like crazy. Paying attention to your digestion. If that's off, are you pooping every day? Because stress can definitely affect your digestive system. I know firsthand on that. I remember being so stressed out one time when I was trying to do the bodybuilding stuff. I was traveling for work and I prepped like 7 hours worth of food, labeled it, everything to a T, like super meticulous. And when I got to the hotel, they thought it was something that someone had left over and they threw it out. And I had a panic attack. I've never had that type of like reaction to anything before, but I had a panic attack, like hyperventilating. And because of all that stress combined with the traveling, they threw all the meal prep that I made away and like trying to do this stupid bodybuilding competition that I was like, I thought I needed to do. I couldn't poop for like a month and a half. And when I got all the tests done, it might be too TMI for some people, but I don't mind talking about poop, where it was literally just stress induced, that I literally could not go to the bathroom because of so much stress. So paying attention to your stress levels, and, stress is one of those things that it's not just, maybe someone at work like makes you mad, or the stress of having to manage all of the things. It's mental, physical, and emotional, and your body responds the same no matter what it is. So having all of that stuff piled on can definitely affect your ability to make decisions. It can affect your, maybe like the willpower you have. I know that's something that's been affected here lately, where normally I walk out of the grocery store and I love soft pretzels. They don't even sound tempting to me at first. Well, Saturday I walked out of the grocery store with some soft pretzels in my bag. So like, it's just, I can tell that I'm not like feeling my best and feeling run down. So kind of like the moral of the story is definitely do your systems check. Like Molly had mentioned, kind of pay attention to, the stressors going on in your life. Pay attention to, how are you feeling in the morning? How are you feeling throughout the day? Are you crashing midday? You feel like maybe you're reaching for another cup of coffee. how is your mood? Are you super irritable? Are you, maybe quick to pop off? Maybe you weren't before. Those are things that I pay attention to when I'm monitoring either a client's biofeedback, my own personal biofeedback, and we talk about the stressors, because that kind of stuff plays into how you execute your movement. It plays into how you execute your nutrition, putting the things in your calendar. And I know that that's something that I've been like struggling with. So I figured it could be good to talk about during, maybe you have a super stressful season or a busy season, and you're trying to get things done, but pay attention to the signals that your body is telling you. Because for me, it was telling me, hey, you better chill out and start focusing on recovery, or, one, I'm going to get hurt, or two, I'm going to get sick. Because I could start to feel it. I'm like waking up, I'm like, well, I'm a little stuffy. And I'm not a happy camper if I am sick, because that just makes you really force you to stop and not do anything. And I hate that. So trying to listen and take the time that I need to recover. So I know we usually talk about like movement and it not having to be the same, but that's something I struggle with, because I like being in the gym, but just, dedicating my movement to only walking is something that I didn't want to do, but it's what I know I needed to do this week. So I'm not sure if you guys have any instances where maybe you didn't listen to your body and then it came back to bite you, or have you gotten good at listening to your bodies? Do you know what to look for?
Just because I've had so many food issues, I know what to look for. But you're in like a high stress phase or time in your life right now, Tabby. You're moving. I mean, for one, moving sucks. And so, yeah, you have a lot going on. So, but yeah, I listen to my body because I have to. Otherwise, I'm down for the count. So I know when it's nice and warm today, and it'll be okay tomorrow, but Wednesday we're supposed to get a cold front in. So I know I'm going to get a sinus headache. So I know I'm going to take some medicine. So yeah, you have to pay attention to your body. So, and moving sucks.
Definitely not looking forward to carrying all the pieces of furniture around, but
plus you don't have time to get sick. You're moving.
No time to get sick.
Yeah. So yeah, be nice to your body.
It's a lesson.
Yeah, I was gonna add to that Tabby, the circumstances you're moving to could lead to depression. So you want to be careful with all of that as well, because that can lead down a rabbit hole. And I am very versed in depression because I've suffered from it pretty much my whole entire life. So yeah, I have to pay attention to my body too, because I can go the opposite direction where I won't do anything. And I have to force myself to get up to do something. And with the weather changing and seasonal affective disorder, I really have to be on top of that, because otherwise I'll just sit around and do nothing for days or weeks on end. So
I can definitely understand that when the seasons change and it's like you don't get that sunlight or that longer day being outside. It's colder, so you don't want to go outside. So some of the weather barriers that get in the way of movement.
Yeah, that too. But I have a treadmill, so I can't like use that as an excuse anymore.
No, I do. Yep.
I think for me, there's been 2 times that I have pushed myself so hard that, eventually pass out or end up in the hospital or blah, 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 blah. And that's what made me reach out right now, this time when I signed up for the scholarship and everything, because couldn't stand up one day. It's like, oh, there I go again. And then they, took me to the ambulance hospital. You will push yourself until your body says, stop. And it's most unfortunate. But what I learned from that was, okay, first thing here, buddy, here's my coffee. I cannot have coffee. I'm trying to get all my energy from coffee. So I need to drink and I need to eat. And, and I think for me, as long as those things are in place, then I'll get the movement in. But for me, the priorities are, getting fuel in, and so that I can get the movement in so that I don't fall over.
I definitely agree with that. Fueling your body. Because if you're running on fumes, that's another source of stress that can make you feel like you don't have the energy to do all the things, or you feel like you're running on E all the time when you're trying to go and get stuff done. Is anyone else working on fueling their bodies? Continuing to
I noticed that I've been having a lot of sugar cravings, and I haven't been fueling myself, and I haven't been watering myself, and I've just felt like shit for the past year. And I've not been doing the things. But there's been a lot of things going on. Stress, depression, stress making the depression worse. You name it. My body's been aching, and I've been just barely putting one foot in front of the other. But I am, thanks to my accountability buddies, Brenda and Terry, I feel like this week I'm making a turn around the good corner. I did my food prep. I did my, I'm getting a little bit of, I don't know if I just hit that possum or not. But I saw it. I think my vehicle was high enough that I didn't kill him or touch him. That was interesting. Yeah, so I really need to start paying attention to the biofeedback in my body. And I know that, I've just started a new job and I've been excited about it, but I really haven't been really excited because I've been worried that it's going to be a repeat of the recent job that I quit. And just that stress has been awful. But I need to, so I've been struggling with getting out of bed, even on my days that I have to work, just struggling. But today was a good day. Today was a good day. And I just have to say, I'm starting to feel better.
Well, good. I'm glad that. So what did you do to make it feel like today was a good day? Like, what did you say to make that happen?
Even though I was not happy with myself for not getting up when I woke up, I still managed to get a 17-minute walk-in this morning. And I also ate a Fitme breakfast. that I prepared for myself this weekend. And, I just felt good. And then I think it helped that I was really nervous about what my day was going to be like at work today, because it's a new week of orientation and I didn't know how much my preceptor was going to want me to do. It all worked out good. And I even got a compliment from from my preceptor. She really liked how I handled a situation with a patient this afternoon. And she told me. And that really made my day. And I told her, I said, that really made my day when you gave me that compliment. And she's like, well, I mean it. You did wonderful with that and you taught me something. And I was just like, wow, because she's been doing it for 5 years. And it was something as simple as me addressing my patient's anxiety. I'm doing hospice nursing.
Mhm.
Anxiety is a part of the dying process. And we medicate for it. But I actually asked this patient who I only met today, I said, I realized that, we just gave you some medication for anxiety and it might not have had a chance to work for you yet, but I didn't want to ignore the fact that I hope that you feel comfortable telling us if there's something that you can put a finger on as to what might be causing the anxiety. I said, you might not, but if you do feel like you can pinpoint a reason for the anxiety, I want you to feel comfortable sharing that with me or with somebody, because I don't want you to think that we're just slapping medicine on it. And sometimes it helps to talk about it. So
The patient feels seen, and
yeah,
you felt confident about it. You were fueling your body. You moved your body. So like you were probably going in as you're fueling, and all of those things play in.
yeah,
Fueling your body. I like how you said I'm watering my body.
yeah, yeah,
I like that. But like all of those things, you probably went into the situation more confident and
yeah,
taught your boss something and made the patient feel heard and
yeah.
seen.
Yep. Yeah. And this patient seems to be like the minority of our patients, even though she's got mets to the brain from lung cancer. She is more alert and oriented than a lot of the other patients that we're dealing with that have dementia and whatnot. And I wanted her to know, hey, is there something that you want to or need to talk about? I'm all ears. So yeah. And so my preceptor, actually, she said in the car, when we got back out in the car, she's like, I just want you to know you're wonderful with the patients. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you. That was just the validation that I needed to hear.
Good. I'm glad you're getting that positive
Yeah.
feedback to know that you are doing a good job,
Yeah.
doing all the things and helping the patients
Yeah.
and really connecting to them.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it was a good day. It was a long day. But I actually, my preceptor, I went back to her apartment with her and we worked on charting. And I didn't have to, it was totally voluntary, but I was just like, no, my preceptor from my other job in the very beginning, they lived an hour and a half from me. So I didn't have that luxury. of driving to my preceptor's house and getting to do the behind the scenes charting. And so I was just like, no, I want to do this because I want to get more comfortable with it in the beginning so that I'm not struggling later on. So, and she's just so patient with me. It's just such a better experience.
I was gonna say, it sounds like you have a better fit at this
Yeah.
job.
Yes.
So going into it, it sounds like you have a better
Yeah.
support system, and
Yeah.
it's just a different environment.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I didn't even ask her for this, but I had liked her. She likes to do puzzles, and she's got a puzzle in progress on her kitchen island, and she's got one of those puzzle sorter things. And she's like, when I was getting ready to leave, she's like, I've got a present for you. She gave me one.
That was nice.
Yeah. And then she, when I was going in her, she was showing me her craft room, and she's like, oh, I've got a bunch of puzzles there. If you like any, just pick one. So I picked a puzzle out, and I'm going to set that up in my craft room to work on, because I love doing puzzles. I mean, it's just such a better experience. Leaps and bounds.
Well, good. I'm happy for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yep.
Does anyone else have any biofeedback questions or something that they pay attention to, or maybe they see in their that might be helpful for someone else?
I'm not doing anything right now. I think I'm getting Harmony's cold. So the biofeedback is nothing. Do nothing. Plus, we have smoke in the air. Our air quality is really unhealthy, which drives me crazy. I can't stand it because you can't go outside, and Harmony gets anxious and wants to run around. But yeah, I think I'm getting her cold. So I'm not doing much of anything today.
So that was something that you listened to this morning, and then like you said, getting outside might not be the best thing, but what is like some of the things I guess you can control, where it's like, all right, maybe water is, I'll just focus on hydrating today. If movement and recovery maybe aren't the best moves, what can I do instead? Or
yeah, rest in water. That's it. I took a whole bunch of emergency took one this morning. I'm gonna take one this evening and try to get some extra vitamins in, and take some extra vitamin C along with that, and just rest. Plus, we just got back from camping yesterday, and we actually weren't supposed to come back until today or tomorrow, and we came back early. So, but
Brenda said, have to sign off. Thank you, girls. I love y'all, and great job at work, Kristen. That was nice. But yeah, I think the cool thing about like biofeedback is that the more you're in tune like with your body, you can recognize those things. And then like the one question that I try not to use like what's going on, I guess you could say, like as an excuse, but I'm like, all right, well, what should I do instead? So that's usually the question I ask myself. Like, if I'm feeling this run down, I'm feeling really tired. I texted my coach first thing. I was like, all right, like training is not going to happen this week. Like I tried to overcommit and I was going to 100% under deliver. So I'm like, all right, well, if training doesn't make sense, we talked about an alternative. So for me, it was walking, using it as a deload week, which just basically means a break from training. So that was my adjustment that I made based on the biofeedback. Maybe your biofeedback's great. Maybe you wake up in the morning and you're like, hell yeah, I got a crap ton of energy. Like, what am I going to do with this today? Like, utilize that. Maybe it's you push yourself in the gym or push yourself in your Tory workouts, go an extra 5 minutes longer or 10 minutes longer. Hi, Harmony. Oh, she looked tired. But definitely listen to yourself. Like Lauren always says, like, don't work through pain, don't move through pain, listen to your body. If you're having cravings or things like that, ask yourself, did I get enough water in? So that's something you can pay attention to. How is your sleep? How is your stress? Asking yourself those questions. I don't know. I'm weird. And I think I told you guys this on this call, but like I talk to myself and I'll literally be like, all right, Tabby, you did not really sleep all that great here lately. Your sleep's been horrible. Your cravings are through the roof. How much water did you drink today? All right. Well, I can't change that sleep didn't work. So, I'm like, what can I adjust and manage based off, what's going on in your body? So do your systems check in the morning and just know that there's always like a different route that you can take to like make your body feel good. Like you don't have to fight through not feeling great like I tried to do. So it was completely inspired by me feeling like crap today. So hopefully talking about biofeedback was helpful and some of the things that you can like look for and monitor during, the process and how you can adjust if maybe you're not feeling your greatest. All right, guys. Well, then we're already at 7:34. Hi,
Have a cranky baby.
well, I'm sure she just woke up from her nap, not feeling good. So
Oh.
she's not a happy camper.
She's been awake for a little while, but she's just crabby because she still doesn't feel the greatest. And she doesn't want me laying in the bedroom anymore, apparently.
She said, Mom, it's time to get up.
Yeah.
One more call for you. You're done.
Yep.
All right, ladies. Well, you all have a good rest of your night, and I will talk to you next week.
Sounds good.
All right.
All
See ya.
right. Thank you,
Bye.
Tabby.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.